Good evening. We're back with more Marvel Champions, and this evening will be a card review of the Valkyrie Hero Pack. So far, this cycle, it's been a little bit disappointing. I really liked the Mighty Avengers from the Mad Titan Shadow expansion and the decks that it enables. But the hero packs have been a little bit lackluster. Haven't really added any heroes or aspect cards that I thought I could really recommend. But let's see what Valkyrie brings to the table. She's got Recovery 4, the standard 6 hand size, 12 HP. Setup, set the Deathglow upgrade aside out of play. Action, detach Deathglow and set it aside out of play. Okay, well, we don't know anything about that yet. Valkyrie 1/2/1 stats, that's pretty weak. Hero action, play the set aside Deathglow upgrade as if it were in your hand. Okay, and what does Deathglow do? A 1 cost upgrade. Forced interrupt, when attached enemy is defeated, set this card aside out of play. If Valkyrie defeated that enemy, ready her. Well, on its own, this is certainly quite weak because a lot of times allies do the defeating. You can't really put this on a boss because you won't get the benefit of Valkyrie being able to ready. You can put it on a boss, you just will never get to ready Valkyrie. We'll have to continue looking at her cards. Clearly her kit is going to revolve around this Deathglow, and so we need to see the rest of the cards before we can really tell whether it's good or not. Annabelle Riggs. 2 cost, 1 port, 1 attack. Alter Ego action. That's not a great sign. Exhaust Annabelle Riggs. Search the top 5 cards of your deck for a Valkyrie card and add it to your hand. Shuffle the rest back into your deck. Okay, well that's repeatable every time you are in Alter Ego form, which in solo isn't going to be that much. So this isn't going to be very good in solo. You might get to use it once. The Alter Ego support cards we almost never play in solo. They do come out from time to time, depending on the hero and the situation, but typically they get thrown away to pay for other stuff. So as far as hero-specific allies go, this one seems pretty weak. Really weak. Maybe even a candidate for the weakest hero-specific ally of them all. Just because its main claim to fame is an alter ego action, which is not something we want to be using a lot. If you could use it, let's see, how many times would you need to use it for this to be good? Assuming you got a chump block out of it, if you could use it twice, this is a good card. An exceptional card, really, if you could use it twice. But that would take some time. It's going to sit on the board for the right opportunity. And it would really be like an emergency play because we don't want to be in alter ego form unless we have to be in solo. Valhalla. 2 cost support after Valkyrie attacks and defeats the enemy that has Deathglow attached. Exhaust Valhalla, draw 1 card and heal 1 damage. So if you could do this twice, it's pretty good. 3 times, it's exceptional. If the Deathglow concept revolves around you attacking and defeating enemies, and Valkyrie herself has to do it, that's not so easy because, well, depending on the scenario, some scenarios don't have minions coming in that get defeated a lot. It means Deathglow can never go on a boss because now we have 2 cards that really only have their effect if you defeat the enemy, and a boss isn't going to be defeated until the end, so Deathglow has to go on a minion in order for Valkyrie to get the benefit of Valhalla. It needs to go on a minion 3 times. You need to defeat a minion with Deathglow attached 3 times. You have to pay for Deathglow each time for 1 resource. But it is a good effect if you can do it repeatedly. So let's look at what else she's got. Valkyrie's Spear, 1 cost upgrade, restricted. Valkyrie gets +1 defense, +2 defense instead, while defending against the enemy with Deathglow attached. Okay, if you could get off 3 defense against an enemy with Deathglow attached, this is pretty good value. It's difficult to make efficient use of cards that require your basic action available, though, because a lot of the time it isn't. It's not reliable. We'd prefer cards that don't require the basic action, the basic action to be available in order to be efficient. The heroes which really rely on their basic action being available in order to take full advantage of their cards, they tend to be on the weaker side. Dragon Fang, 1 cost upgrade. Valkyrie gets +1 attack, +2 instead while attacking the enemy with Deathglow attached. Once again, if you can do that 3 times, it's pretty good. It conflicts with the defense one, though, because you're really only going to have 1 action usually. So you'll only be able to take advantage of either or on any given turn. Most turns. Interesting hero. Not seeing anything so far that makes up for her very weak stats. 1-2-1 is quite weak. Aragorn. That's the name of the Pegasus. 2 cost upgrade. Valkyrie gets +4 hit points and gains the aerial trait. That is overcosted. That should cost 1. At 1 it would be okay. Nothing exceptional, but it would be okay at 1. 1 cost. 2 cost, it's not good. Unless she really benefits from gaining aerial. But yeah, 2 cost, that's too much. Flight of the Valkyrie. Flight of the Valkyrie. 2 cost upgrade. After the enemy with Deathglow is defeated, discard Flight of the Valkyrie. Remove 5 threat from a scheme. Given that you have to defeat an enemy in order to take advantage of this, it's pretty weak. I'd prefer 6 threat. 7 would be good, even. I don't think it would be overpowered at 7. Given that you have to defeat an enemy with Deathglow, and Deathglow costs 1 to put on the enemy. So, at the moment, Valkyrie looks pretty weak to me. So we get 2 of those. Visit Valhalla. Return a Valkyrie card from your discard pile to your hand. Okay, not bad, but now she's got 2 alter ego actions, the one with Annabelle Riggs and this one. We don't like those in solo. So heroes that have to return their alter ego to take advantage of multiple cards. Another reason to consider the hero weak. The reliance on the basic action and the alter ego actions. The general cost to benefit of the cards. These are all reasons to think that Valkyrie is going to be on the weaker side. Chooser of the Slain, 0 cost event. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for a minion and put it into play engaged with you. Draw 2 cards. Well, at least you can choose the minion. Any in the deck means you can probably just sacrifice 2 attack for drawing 2 cards. That's good value. It's good value. Probably going to want to use this almost every time you draw it. This may even be her best card. It's nothing exceptional, I don't think. It is very strong, though. I like it. Depending on the encounter. Now, there are some encounters where all the enemies are ferocious, and in those encounters, this card would be bad. You need there to be like a 2 health enemy in the deck that doesn't really have that bad of an effect when it comes into play for this to be good. In that scenario, this is good. If it's not good, if that's not the case, then this is not good. But if it is the case in that scenario, so for like the weaker scenarios, this will be quite good. But it'll scale down as the scenarios increase in difficulty. Shield Maiden, 1-cost event. When the enemy with Deathglow attached attacks, declare Valkyrie the defender without exhausting her. And she gets +2 defense. Functionally, that's not really different from the card that... It's only a little bit different from the card that is a protection card that gives you +2 defense and then you ready if you take no damage. So this card doesn't have the caveat that you have to take no damage, but it does have the caveat that it has to be the enemy with Deathglow attached. So it's decent. It's decent value. Nothing exceptional, but it's decent. We will get some use out of this, I think. Especially combined with, it will synergize well with her shield and, or what was it? Not her shield, but her sword and her spear. We get 2 of those. Have at thee, deal 7 damage to an enemy. If that enemy has Deathglow attached, this attack gains overkill. 7 for 3 is meh. It's not that good. It'll be used for specific things that we need damage urgently for, like big enemies. And it'll be used when we're going in for the kill, but otherwise thrown away to pay for other stuff. And that's it. That's all of her hero cards. Well, she's severely... She seems to me quite underpowered. She lacks ramp. Her best ramp card is Valhalla, and there's only one of them. And it has a caveat that there has to be a minion available for Valkyrie to defeat. Now she is able to bring minions into play from time to time. That's good. But her full build would be like, exempting whatever aspect you're playing. Her full build would be Aragorn, which is overcosted, Dragon Fang, and Valkyrie's Spear, which really need something like Shield Maiden to take full advantage of, or Chooser of the Slain, which is only good in certain scenarios. And you need Valhalla as well, and that's going to be a 1-of in a 40-card deck with no additional way to get it into play. Hannibal Riggs on the weaker side as far as hero-specific allies go. So overall, we're looking at a pretty weak hero, I think. We'll need to play test to be sure, but we're looking at a pretty weak hero. And let's take a look at the aspect cards. So first up, we got another version of Thor. He comes in with toughness. He's got 1/3 cost. When Thor attacks a minion engaged with a player, spend a lightning resource. Resolve this attack against each minion engaged with that player in the order of your choice. Okay. So he basically just gets 1 attack, but it can be a mighty attack. Well, you get pretty good value for Thor. He's really good, actually. If you can just attack 2 minions with him, he's really good. 6 damage, plus the toughness, plus a chump block. Yeah, he's really strong. He has a potential to be one of the best allies in the game. Auto include for me in an aggression deck. Throg. 2 cost, 1 thwart, 2 attack. After Throg enters play, give him a tough status card if you're engaged with a minion. Another really strong ally. He's really, really good. Another auto include out of the aggression aspect. So maybe Valkyrie's on the weaker side, but some very strong aggression allies here. I like them. Angela, we've seen before. It's So unfortunately, Throg isn't an Avenger, so he can't be used in like a Spider-Woman Mighty Avengers deck. Thor is, though. Hall of Heroes we've seen before. Combat Training, Quick Strike, 2 cost, deal damage to an enemy equal to your attack. You'd need for your attack to be like 6 for this to be good. This card is pretty weak. That's never really going to be the case. Valkyrie can get up to 4, but even at 4, I don't think this is efficient enough to really run it. Smash the Problem. 1 cost event, exhaust your hero, remove threat from a scheme equal to your hero's attack. You'd need for your hero's attack to be like 4. That's hard to do without additional buffs. So probably not. It's very rare for aspect cards to be good outside of the occasional upgrade or the allies. Pretty rare, it seems, for events to be good from aspects. They all seem relatively underpowered. The best defense, 0 cost event. When your hero defends against an attack, use its attack instead of its defense for this attack. You'd need for that to provide you for like 2 additional defense beyond what you would usually get, I think. So if there's a difference of 2 between your attack and defense, this card could be decent. There's only a few heroes that might apply to. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure it really applies to any without additional upgrade cards, so probably this doesn't get run, but there could be a deck either now or in the future where this makes sense. We'll keep it in mind for later. For now, though, I don't think it makes sense to run this, because it's a multi-card combo that you need, and neither of the cards in the combo are that efficient. So you really only want to use multi-card combos when you really get something for them, because a lot of the time multi-card combos kind of clog up the hand while you're waiting to set it up, or they just don't do anything except get spent for resources. Audacity we've seen before. Power of Aggression we've seen before. The Bifrost, 1 cost support. Play only if your identity has the Asgard trait. So that would be Valkyrie or Thor right now, I think. Exhaust the Bifrost. Search your deck for an Asgard ally and play it, paying its cost. Shuffle your deck. Okay, so it's basically draw a card. If you could do this twice, it's very good. 1 cost to draw 2 cards is very good. It's an action, not a alter ego action, so this would be an auto include in a index where your identity has the Asgard trait. This may actually be the best Valkyrie card, and it's a basic card. Sometimes that happens, though. Sorcerer Supreme is one of the best Doctor Strange cards, and that's a basic card. But yeah, Bifrost, an auto include in a Thor or Valkyrie deck. Are there any other Asgard heroes? I don't think so. It may be in the future, but right now I don't think so. Godlike Stamina, 0 cost event. Apparently the girl is not impressed. Play only if your identity has the Asgard trait. Heal 2 damage from your identity, and you may discard a status card. Well, if you can do both of those things, this is a really good card. Problem is, you don't get status cards on your hero that reliably. So you kind of have to rely on luck, because I don't think you're going to want to hold on to Godlike Stamina. Holding on to cards in your hand is usually pretty bad unless they're really, really strong cards. So there may be some scenarios, though, where the status cards are so prevalent that it makes sense to run Godlike Stamina. And it's very, very efficient if you do remove a status card and heal 2. Just healing 2 for 0? I mean, that's still a straight-up upgrade over First Aid, right? First Aid costs 1 to heal 2. I think this may be worth running for an Asgard character. It's so incredibly good when it works that I think this may be worth running. Though, I could be wrong about that. It could be that all the time it just either sits in the hand or does nothing. But I think it's worth a look at least. Alrighty, and what are the cards from the other aspects? We've got Problem Solvers, which is an alliance card. So a multiplayer focused card. Exhaust, it costs 4, exhaust an Avenger and a Guardian. Remove X threat from each scheme where X is equal to the combined board of those characters. We saw cards like this in the previous Hero Pack, which was War Machine. It's a multiplayer focused card. It's not good in solo. It could potentially be in like a 3 or 4 player game. I don't think so for 2 player. But 3 or 4 player, it could potentially be good if you've got a reliable mix of Avengers and Guardians. And if you're exhausting 2 allies that you don't have a use for otherwise, and paying for the 4 cost with cards that players were going to throw away, or some percentage of it at least, this could be quite strong. I think it's harder to make work than the other alliance cards because you won't ever really get that much threat removal from it, like maybe 4. And 4 threat removal for 4 cost is pretty bad. So you really have to be using things to pay for it that you had no other use for. And there's a chance that will be the case with the alliance trait, but this is probably doesn't get run, even in a 4-player game. Leadership training, 1 cost support, uses 2 training counters, alter ego action. Exhaust this card and remove 1 training counter from it. Choose a leadership event in your discard pile and shuffle it into your deck. I don't assign any value to that, therefore I don't think this card is good. I think it basically costs 1 and gives you next to nothing, and I would not run it because I don't assign any value to shuffling a card from your discard pile back into your deck. Anticipation, 1 cost upgrade. When you engage a minion, discard this card and ready your hero. Nope, don't get enough value for this to make it worth it. Typically readying a hero is just worth 2. And 1 cost plus the card for 2 isn't very good. Cosmic Alliance, another alliance event, basic one this time. Choose an Avenger character and a Guardian character and ready each of those characters. Well, as I just mentioned, I assign a value of about 2 to readying a character, so 3 cost for 4 is pretty weak. It's very weak. I cannot imagine running this card. Even with the alliance trait, I don't think this is good. And that's it for Valkyrie. Well, she's pretty weak. Her hero cards are weak. They seem weak. Bifrost is good. Thor ally is good. Throg is good. Would it be, if you're an avid Thor player, would it be worth buying this just for Bifrost and Throg? Bifrost will upgrade you a bit. Throg is good. Maybe. Depends on how avid a Thor player you are. I don't think Thor is that good, so I can't really recommend this hero pack except for thematic or fun reasons. We'll play test Valkyrie, but I don't see much here to recommend this. It seems like we will miss out on next to nothing by ignoring this one. Except for whatever fun there is to be had in playing Valkyrie, or possibly running Bifrost or Throg in a Thor deck. So, thank you for watching.